Voices against corruption. Let the people speak.
Hello and welcome to Primorg's public feedback series on corruption, called Voices Against Corruption. And we ask, how is corruption responsible for the poor economic system we are experiencing in Nigeria?
Corruption has eaten deeply to our system. Why? Because the leaders who are supposed to project most of all these rules that will benefit the masses are there only for their own survival. At that point, it has affected the audience and the masses as well.
To me, as far as I'm concerned, what caused this economy meltdown is there is no clear-cut policy from this present government to fight corruption, even to move the economy forward. No, there's no doubt. Corruption must affect every economy in the world. There's no doubt about that. Because when you embezzle money that's supposed to be meant for a certain, infrastructure, development, education, health, then you did not apply it in that way. So it will affect the structure, the well-being of people, education will go down, the welfare of people will go down, hunger, poverty will loom, so it affects the economy.
If you take a look at the statistics of corruption in Nigeria and then you compare it to other countries that has developed and that do not experience the kind of economic meltdown we are experiencing currently in Nigeria, then you observe that basically corruption is one of the strongest reasons why we are experiencing the economic meltdown as we are today.
Because of corruption, that's why our resources being mismanaged, and that have led us to where we are today. The economy today is stranded. The inflation rates have risen to more than 17%. You could consider that it's because of mismanagement of resources that led to those things. There are good money that are budgeted for that we help to keep the economy in motion. But because of corruption of leaders, those monies are not putting into gear. You see people making budgets in some sectors of the economy, and you see the money executing 30% of the fund are budgeted. So these are reasons why the economy is the way it is. We don't have adequate infrastructure. Our road network is still very poor. So corruption is one of the big reasons where we are where we are.
Instead of the leaders to use the resources we have in developing the country, they embezzle the resources, and the next thing the Nigerians would hear is that there is no money, there is no this, there is no that. Therefore, corruption is what is killing this country.
Even this present government that pretend to fight corruption, they are not fighting corruption. Corruption, every fragment of Nigerian economy, there's corruption. And that's what affects the economy. The rich people are grabbing the whole thing, the masses, they have nothing to left for them. And that's why we're having economic meltdown. And the economic meltdown is only meant for the poor people. For the rich, they are comfortable.
Corruption is responsible for the economic challenges we are facing in Nigeria because had it been we have managed our resources well, the economic situation will have not as worse as we are seeing it now. So definitely we can say corruption is a major challenge of this economic hardship because of mismanagement of our resources.
It affected because you can't do business like as it ought to be, like every other countries. Look at the cost of food items have been skyrocketed. As I speak to you, every transaction that I made, charges here and there. To summarize everything, corruption has eaten deep into the fabrics of Nigerian economic. Why do I say so? If you look at the government sectors, you see that every sector has been soaked with corruption. Go to health sector. If you go to Metama Hospital, for instance, you see corruption in capital letter. If you go to any sectors you go to, you see raw corruption everywhere you go. Go to bank. So, see, corruption is the virus that is eating the fabrics of Nigerian economy.
A lot of things that we are going through in Nigeria today, yes, there are other factors we can cite, but corruption is a major challenge.
If, for example, a public fund made available for a certain or specific project is not applied into such, naturally what you see is a backward trend in that area of endeavor. So I think corruption too plays a great part in, the various part of, in fact, it plays a greater part of why we are the way we are today.
Budgetary provision meant for the citizens are being spent by few individuals, and this has not made development to be circulated amongst the citizens. And I think every sector of the economy is affected. Like, for example, we are just recovering from the pandemic. What lessons have we learned from it? Money that is meant to build our infrastructures, it's spent on other ventures. Like, for example, we also have world standard hospitals, but we don't have something like that. So we're recovering from a pandemic. We should have learned, and money meant for our health provision should be used for it, but corruption has not allowed that to take place in Nigeria.
Primark's public feedback on corruption in Nigeria is produced with support from MacArthur Foundation.